The Battle of the Brews continues.
In this edition of Friday 5, we've got the latest on that controversy. Plus, we have our soggy social media story of the week and details about a restaurant chain's pledge to keep the real meat.
This episode of Friday 5 is being brought to you by our friends over at the Nebraska Corn Board.
Kicking off the countdown, we swam through Facebook and Twitter to find our social media story of the week.
Now, it's been no secret that Nebraska has been awfully soggy, and it's prompted some intriguing social media posts like this. People have commented on things like, is fish farming a thing in Nebraska? And maybe I should just be a rice farmer.
Yeah, the latest crop progress report estimates that 58% of U.S. corn was planted as of Sunday compared to last year's 90%. And soybeans are sitting at 29% planted compared to last year's 74%.
Well, the saga between Miller Coors and Anheuser Busch continues.
The saga all started back with the Super Bowl commercial that drew some criticism from farmers and the National Corn Growers Association. Miller Coors sued Anheuser-Busch in March, saying the company spent $30 million on a false and misleading campaign.
Last week, a federal judge ordered Anheuser-Busch to stop using the ads that describe Bud Light as containing 100% less corn syrup than Miller Lite and Coors Light. That said, though, other ads, including the Super Bowl commercial, were not banned.
Miller Coors says corn syrup is used in the brewing process, but not in the final product available to consumers.
Moving back to Nebraska news, JBS USA has announced a $95 million expansion project at its Grand Island beef production facility.
Exciting news. Now, this project includes new and improved animal handling facilities and a temperature-controlled harvest floor. It'll also include facility reconfiguration that's designed to improve team member experience, food safety, and product quality.
JBS and Grand Island currently partners with more than 670 local producers to export U.S. beef to over 30 countries all around the world.
Moving on, many details are still uncertain following last week's disaster aid package rollout.
The total aid amount could come in at $16 billion and will cover a wider range of crops than last year's aid to farmers. Politico reports that $14.5 billion of the aid is potentially being allocated for direct payments to producers.
Officials say they've estimated the amount of damage caused by trade disputes, and they'll multiply that by acreage planted in the area. Now, farmers who don't plant a crop this year will not be eligible for cash assistance.
USDA says they hope the trade aid package will encourage farmers to try to plant their fields.
Number one this week, Arby's. They have the meats, and they intend to keep it that way.
The chain is promising that, unlike many others, it will not adopt any plant-based meats for their menu.
Now, demand for meat-free foods is growing, and competing chains have started to embrace more plant-based options. Red Robin and Burger King added plant-based burgers, and Little Caesars is testing the Impossible Supreme Pizza.
But Arby's said the chances we will be bringing plant-based menu items to our restaurants now or in the future are absolutely impossible.
I see what they did there. That is a wrap for this last May 2019 edition of Friday 5, of course brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
This is Mike. Mike likes his car. Mike likes to save money. And Mike likes to breathe. So Mike fills up with E15 with 15% American ethanol. The clean octane in E15 gives Mike the performance he wants from his engine and the clean air he wants for his family. Better yet, E15 costs less at the pump. Higher octane, cleaner air, lower cost. E15 sure gives Mike a lot to like. Discover E15 with American ethanol.